I'm Joe Jones. I'm the new superintendent, not heavily involved with the creation of this building, but we're here today because of a lot of hard work in this community to do a lot of work, not just here at Tawanka, but across the district in terms of some new planning, new thinking, forward thinking, looking ahead to the future. How can we do better as a Neshaminy School District for our students, for the community? And Tawanka is probably the easy example to point to. Brand new facility, beautiful facility, and we're here tonight to kind of celebrate this as kind of a capstone event of this, the new efforts on the facilities end of the district. To kick us off this evening, we have I don't know if we got enough of these inside. Everybody we're going to pass these around, plenty around. And this has our roster, and starting off this evening is our board president, Scott Condon. Mr. Condon?
Thank you, Mr. Jones. And once again, as Joe stated, that he's new to the district and was able to, join our district hitting the ground running. He's done a wonderful job, and I want to welcome you again, Mr. Jones, and thank you for the hard work that you've done this past year. Tawanka, we're sitting here. It seems like it was not that long ago, and actually it was less than 2 years ago when the board stood up here, and we have some of those board members with us with shovels and put our shovels in the ground. And it's hard to believe that we've had almost one complete full year of school within this building. I want to thank everyone, and the next speaker is going to get into more detail with the people and how they were involved. So I don't want to take any of his thunder away from him, but I do want to thank everyone that's been involved, everyone that has partaken in the design, the building, the overseeing. Mr. Minotti has not been here, was not able to be here this evening, and then his hard work and dedication to this project kept it through. But once again, I'd like to welcome Tim Traska, who has replaced Mr. Minotti and hit the ground running with this facility as well, and he'll be finalizing all the details on the building. But once again, like I said, it's hard to believe that we've had one full year of school, and as I look at some of the students here, I'm anxious to hear what we have to say coming up and see what this school has provided for you this last year. But once again, I'd like to thank everybody involved, especially everyone that stopped out this evening to pay tribute to this building. And with that, I'd like to bring up the chairman of the committee that was responsible for the roadmap of Neshaminy and the consolidation project and the actual building of Tawanka, Mr. Steve Parentano.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. I want to continue the theme that Mr. Jones started us off with, which is community. And that's what this facility is all about, and that's what the roadmap plan is all about. It doesn't happen by one person. I may have ran the committee, but I needed the people before me to help us get to where we needed to get. Our committee started under Mr. Bill Ottinger, who's a former board member who's here today. At that time, Mr. Webb was the president and Kim Koutsaratis was the vice president. They allowed the formation of the committee that led to the Citizens Committee, who those members volunteered their time. I'm sorry I don't have all your names. I know some of you are here tonight, and the work that you did and the plan you put forward. And they didn't think about one region, they thought about Neshaminy. And they came up with a plan that was pretty perfect. We changed it a little bit, but it really got to the heart of what the entire community needed. We went from shovels in the ground to a building opened in 18 months. Could not happen without the hard work of not only our professionals, but our interior staff. We changed superintendents at the time. The project started under Mr. Copeland. Then our acting superintendent at the time, who's here tonight, Dr. Gloria Hancock, had to do most of the heavy lifting during that period of time. She did a fantastic job to keep us on task, on time. Tremendous amount of work from the Lower Southampton Township, the supervisors, the staff at the township, to help us expedite the permit process. Everybody just came together, realized this was a goal that was needed to be achieved, and showed you how when community and our government work together hand in hand, things can happen. We got this project done on time, we got it done on budget, and the entire district, not only Lower Southampton, but the entire district benefited. I also want to recognize some of the former board members that couldn't be here tonight. Mr. Mark Shubin, who ran the Citizens Committee, Mrs. Susan Cummings, who unfortunately couldn't get out of work tonight. Sue was an anchor during the process to get it done. We have with us tonight Miss Irene Boyle here, who is also an anchor for us. Former members John Allen and Tony Sposato. Tony was on the committee with me. Just a tremendous amount of people that really just put hard work in and wanted to do something for the community. And this is something that I hope we can continue through other areas as the school district grows. And it's just a great thing. This is the first new elementary school built in our area since 1968. It was a long time coming, and hopefully with the same financial guidance, prudence, respect for the taxpayers, the Chamonix will continue not to grow just in facilities, but grow our children's education, because they're the ones that are going to go out into this world, this new economy, and they're the ones that are going to blaze a new path for all of us. So again, I want to thank you all for coming. It's been a great experience. And now I want to introduce Mr. Joe McFadden, our current Lower Southampton Township Supervisor and current Vice Chairman of the Supervisors Board. Mr. McFadden.
Thank you, Steve. Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to be part of the special event this evening. First, as one of the elected officials of Lower Southampton, I think it's safe for me to say congratulations on the achievement that Tawanka represents. It's truly an achievement on the part of the board, on the part of the Chamonix School Administration, and maybe most of all on the residents in the Chamonix School District. I understand that the reorganization of which the school was part was a difficult decision, with many opinions, ideas, passion, and candor. It's my fervent belief, however, that this is the type of thing that leads to the best possible decisions. In our form of government, it's the tension between two opposing viewpoints or more that actually leads to the best possible decisions. That said, I want to express my belief that the mission of the school board and administration is the same or very similar to the mission of the township and the Board of Supervisors, in that we both provide an environment that's safe and inviting, as well as a place where residents can enjoy life while realizing the prosperity of hard work and dedication to family. And that's certainly what you have around you today. Tawanka Elementary is a jewel and a testament to how serious the board, the administration, and the people of the Chamonix School District take that mission. Let me just finish again by saying congratulations on a beautiful new school and good health and prosperity to the children and the families that are part of the Tawanka family. Thank you.
So Mr. McFadden talked about the mission of the school, and our mission speaks about how we empower our students not only to be lifelong learners, but productive citizens. And so when we talk about this product here, this school, this new building, it really was the byproduct of productive citizenship, exactly like you talked about. And it's not always a clean process, but with dedicated, hardworking board members and a real dedicated district administrative team, there was a lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting that happened that allowed for this to occur. So I think most people's names were called, but I do want to call out a couple others. Ms. Hollenbach is here as well with us today as a board member. I think all of our other board members were referenced that are here with us this evening. From the school district administrative cabinet, not only Dr. Hancock, who her work was described, but I do want to make sure we recognize Mr. Mann, Mr. Devlin, Mrs. Markowitz, who am I missing who's here today? Mr. Harm, who was here with us for a good number of years and instrumental in the opening of this building. There are any number of things that those individuals did behind the scenes that could have made this look even messier, potentially, right? You know, you have this beautiful building, and there's a lot that has to happen in order for this to all get off the ground and running well from the beginning. The one name that hasn't been mentioned, I do want to make sure I recognize him, is Don Palmer. Mr. Palmer, could you just wave to people there? So I was hired in the spring, and I did not start until August 1st. And when I got on the scene on August 1st, I was told the Tawanka principal for the brand new building just got a job in Delaware. And so we didn't have a Tawanka building principal upon my arrival. Mr. Palmer was an assistant principal at Plaque, a good man who was doing good work, recommended, and ultimately a person who I had some conversation with, and he was willing to take on this assignment here. It was a lot for him. First principalship, elementary school was a new territory for him, but he was the right man for the job because we really were able to move into September, ready to open, with a whole lot of collaboration with some of the adult faculty members and support staff that he has here. And Tawanka really has had a relatively seamless opening with a real smooth takeoff, and he said he's really enjoying his spring here. So for a principal to be able to say he's enjoying spring is really good. We have a few other people here. I want to make sure that I make reference to the fact that Frank Farry really wanted to be here this evening. In his place, Kristen Ben-Hagan is the district office manager. Thank you for being here this evening. I appreciate your attendance, and we appreciate Mr. Farry's support. There are members of the 2012 Citizen Committee on Consolidation. Raise your hand. I want to make sure I don't miss you. I know Susie Drake and Mr. Rodas. Mr. Allen wants to take credit for that too as well. Thank you, sir. And former board member. And I know we had a few other people who said they were coming. I'm afraid if I miss anyone, but okay. That was, Mr. Paratana does speak about how critical that was as a foundational building block for this whole effort, to have the committee and the citizens engaged with our work. Mr. Ottinger, I'm so happy you're here. He's the fire marshal. And I thought it might be good to have the fire marshal here when we put these chairs on. I don't know where he is right now.
Right here.
Oh, right there. You can't sit there. That's a bad spot. And then finally, I do want to make sure I reference that Spiesel Architect is represented today. James Houston is here. Thank you so much. We appreciate the work of Spiesel and the design and the creativity. At the end of our program, if you're a person who hasn't had a chance to get around and see our building, we will give that tour. Mr. Palmer said he's got it down now. He knows the right way to take you through the building. And it really is. If you haven't seen the building from the inside, it's worth taking a minute to take the tour with him after we're done. We have some refreshments. We have the tour, we have the unveiling of the plaque, but before that, the most important thing is our students here at Tawanka. And so we were so pleased that you all have agreed to come out tonight and to represent citizenship. Our Early Act is a organization, it's a club connected to Rotary. And so our Rotarians here locally work with our students to help instill in them a sense of community, a sense of giving back. And it also helps our students in all of our elementary schools do phenomenal work. But when they have this connection, it's not just them as young people who do good work, they get to see that they're on a continuum of a lot of us who do volunteer work in our communities and how it helps. And so this evening we have 4 Early Act representatives who are ready to speak. You can see that they are ready.
My name is Rowan Murray, and I'm the president of the Tawanka Early Act Club. Today we would like to tell you a little bit about the history of Tawanka Elementary School. First, we'll hear part of a history essay that was placed in a time capsule at the old Tawanka Elementary School building in 1964 and removed in 2015. It was written by Karen Quirk, a student.
Hi, I am Luke Murray, a member of the Tawanka Early Act Club. Here's Karen's essay. The history of schools in Lower Southampton does not date back very far. When people went to school many years ago, they could only attend elementary school in Lower Southampton. For high school, they had to travel to Lower Moreland and to Newtown. The elementary schools of this area were not too well organized. Little schools were all over the community. It was then decided that all the small schools would come together in a joint district. Since then, they acquired many more schools than a high school. Today, most of our schools are modern, as 8 of the Chamonix district's 12 elementary schools have been built since 1954. With the building of each school, the board and supervisors have the architects put into their plans some advantage which they did not have in the last school, but which is needed. During the lifetime of a school, many things are added, but not unless every other school receives the same. This shows the impartialness of the board and supervisors. Karen ends her essay by saying this: I am thankful for the wonderful school board and supervisors that Neshaminy School District has, and that I do attend school in such an active and concerned district. School may not always seem so, but is an important part in becoming a child's character. For the kind of child you are will be the kind of adult you become.
Hi, my name is Aaron Poe, and I'm also a member of the Tawanka Early Act Club. A lot has changed since 1964, but we are lucky to live in a district that's still active and concerned about our education. We would like to thank the school board for voting to build this new school, our local government for helping them make it happen, the architect and the contractor for building it, and our families and the community for supporting and paying for it. It's not easy to plan and build a new school like Tawanka, but they work together, and this school will serve students like us for many years to come.
Hi, my name is Jason Lama, and I am also a member of the Tawanka Early Act Club. I am going to tell you a little history about Tawanka. Construction started for the first Tawanka Elementary School building in 1964. Many new families were moving into the area at that time, and new houses and apartments were being built. The school opened with 615 students. In 1966, 4 more classrooms and a kindergarten wing were added. In 1973, the enrollment was 802 students, but by 1975 it dropped to 634 students. The name Tawanka was suggested by a teacher. It is a Native American word that means willingness to achieve. It was chosen to honor the spirit of the original Lenni Lenape Indians that once lived in the area. In keeping with that theme, a large tile mural was created for the front of the building containing pictures that were drawn by Neshaminy students showing Native American life. Students helped place the tiles onto the mural before it was lifted onto the new building. The old Tawanka Elementary School stayed open until 2002. It then became an alternative school for high school students until 2009. After that, it was a special needs school for students from the area. In 2015, construction began for the new Tawanka Elementary School, which is the building we are in today. The old building was demolished, but a small piece of the mural was saved so that we could remember the history of our school. Our mascot is the American bald eagle, which was also chosen to honor the history of Tawanka and the spirit of the original inhabitants of this area.
The new Tawanka Elementary School opened this past September. When we first got here, we didn't know everybody since we came from 3 different schools, but we got used to it pretty fast and have had an exciting year starting new traditions that will last for a long time to come.
Perfect. Wonderful. Nice job. This is what Jason was talking about. This is a small piece of that mural. And just recently, a day or 2 ago, a little description of that is there off to the side to give that history that Jason was talking about. So that's nice for any visitors who come in.
We want to give credit to Sue Cummings, whose idea it was.
Former board member Sue Cummings was the one who came up with the idea of grabbing a piece and making sure that we could have a little bit of that old, so that's really nice. I forgot a couple of people, so let me make sure that I reference the fact that not too much work today gets done without the help of some good legal advice. And so we have our board solicitor who's able to join us today, and so we thank Mr. Prophy, Thomas Prophy III. Thank you. And I don't know how I can miss the man behind the camera here, but Mr. Stanley does a lot of good work for this district to publicize all that happens around with our students, the good work with our faculty, the support staff who help each and every day. And so Chris Stanley also is someone who needs to be thanked, because really all of what you see here tonight, he put on in terms of the planning and all that allowed for us to gather today and give thanks to this great community effort. So thank you, Chris Stanley. So, we're at that spot, and I want to thank our adults who work with our Early Act. Thank you so much for your preparation work, for being here tonight. I'm going to move on to the closing, but before I do that, did I forget anybody? There are a lot of you around here. We are going to unveil the plaque. We have a standard plaque that's basically what you will see in almost any new building. And then we also have a special plaque alongside of it, which is given some extra thanks to the community group, the citizens group, some of the former board members and others, the township, who were all instrumental in this building being here. And so we're going to unveil both of those. I'm going to ask our students to come up. But you know what? Why don't we have the other 4 students? Do you want to come up and help me? Come on up. Now I'm going to lift off the top because I'm afraid we don't want to tear it. Hold on.
Good thing you're tall there, Joe.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.